Have you got anything like this? This is a duct off a solar PV farm. I'm gonna tell you why this would happen. This is a sectional cutaway, so this is as it was removed. So let's see how this has happened, or talk you through some root cause analysis on some solar cable. How very boring. Oh, okay. Welcome, a little bit of actual electrical content on this one. This has come up in another conversation, so I thought I'd record it here for the benefit of everyone. This is a bit of duct from a solar farm. The duct's actually not the part of a duct, because the duct that I took out was melted and was making me fucking cough, so I've just done a cutaway. So the duct's not genuine, but the cables in the position they're in are genuine. If you actually pull it out down here, let me do that for you. If I actually pull it out, look, you'll see, before I removed it, I taped it. So this is exactly as found. So what's happened is, because of slack ways of pulling it in, or rodent damage or something, yeah, what's happened is in here, at least one cable on the positive and at least one cable on the negative has been damaged or nicked. So it could be rodent damage, it could have got a little scar on it, it could have been pulled in and chafed, whatever. One live and one neutral got nicked, which is fine, nothing will ever go wrong. However, what's then happened is, dirty water, I imagine, has got in it, maybe urine or whatever. Yeah, so it could be a puddle of piss, it could be rainwater, dirty water, whatever. Ducts never stay dry, that's a simple fact. Yeah, water's going to get into them, it's going to have other contaminants in it like salt and fucking whatever. And what happens is, the two cables, the live and the neutral, will just gently arc, yeah? Nothing to worry about whatsoever. Then that will break down the insulation further, and they'll arc more. And then that'll break the insulation down further, and they'll arc more, starting off a vicious cycle. Then, when they're arcing, they will damage the cables next to them. And they'll start arcing, but that arc will be more powerful. And then they'll damage the cables next to them, and then they'll start arcing. And this can take place over an hour or fucking a year. But this is the result. And what happens is, you'll see that some of these have actually burnt through. But they don't just burn clear and stop. Because this end is live, because of the inverter, and because this end is live, because of the solar panels, they start to eat a hole, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So what they realise is, in the development of solar farms, is when you get a couple of strings off, this is what's going off. This is why I've caught this one, how it is, where there's a few strings off. Well, there's a few that are more of strings off, but they know there was a fault. And what they used to do is replace the two cables, but now they replace all the cables, because they know that when they replace two cables, the rest of them are damaged. So that's just something they learned. However, this is an early catch. But what will happen is, because this end is powered and this end is powered, they will keep eating away until an actual gap appears here. Then this lot will continue to eat its way all the way down the cable for meters and meters and meters. And this lot will continue to eat its way down the cable for meters and meters and meters. Now, because I started helping out doing this when this was found, or when these faults were discovered, I've never seen it, but the guy I work with that does it, my old apprentice who does this a lot, he says he's had clear like 3 or 4 meters where there's no cable left, because it's just been sat there burning away. So yeah, and the reason, you'll notice there's not a lot of fire damage there. You can clearly see the signs of heat damage, and this green stuff gives away why I've managed to recover this. And that's because that's the result of water, because this entire fault was totally submerged in water, which is why it's allowed it to burn away and create electrolysis, but it's not all black and caught fire, which is why it doesn't stink and why I've got this as an example. Yeah, so this entire thing happened underwater, so the water won't extinguish the arc faults. And like I say, if there's water there, it'll just burn. And he's told me, like, he's had 3 or 4 meters clear that he's found where there's just no cable left. It's all been burnt up. So yeah, that is the problem of when you use, well, it's the eventual problem when you use cables in ducts underground. If the cores become damaged via either problems when you pull them in, little nicks, or rodents. Now, I'd argue, in this case, it's a really good example. I'm so glad I found it, because it was preserved underwater. You see there, look. See that? That is definitely nibbling. That is not damage, that's been nibbled by rodents. So, some rodents getting itself down there, look, there's not a lot of space, you can just about fit 2 fingers in. And they're going down there going, oh, I'll just eat this cable. And that's what they're doing. Obviously, during the summer, this might be dry. And during the winter, this will get wet. So during the summer, the rats and rodents and mice go down there, do their little nibbles. Then they leave for the winter, go and hide somewhere in the field and sleep. The water gets in, and off goes that. So there you go. That's an exact as found bit of rodent damage that caused a massive outage on a solar farm in its as it is. So yeah, watch out, and obviously use the cable that Sam invented, the whatever it's called. I don't fit it, so I don't know, but obviously Sam from Overley invented the cable that would help prevent that. In case you haven't worked it out, it's makeup shots day in the studio, and I was on about this the other day. I was on about this cable and how it falls through. It's going to be on a YouTube video. So now that when they short out, they start shorting to each other, blah, 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 well, watch the YouTube video if you're not bothered. That's because they're made out of these cables. These aren't really duct grade. These are just solar cables. I'm not sure if they're duct grade. I don't personally think they are. I don't feel like duct grade. So when you put them in a duct like that, they get nicked and damaged and ate by rats. And you end up with this kind of situation here. The question is, this is PV Ultra from Doncaster Cables, an invented semi by Sam from Oval. So there's a bit of the PV Ultra duct, there's the section, and I'm pretty much sure I've picked something similar. So you can see, like, there is obviously a considerable size difference. I'd say there's 50% more. But it's got all that bedding and stuff, so this problem isn't going to happen on this cable unless you really fuck it up. Yeah, so that's probably NNJ or something like that. Then you've got all the bedding. You've got the string for stripping it, which is absolute lifesaver. Absolute on the money, game changer, something like that. Then you've got the core, so you're really going to struggle to nick these and have this problem. The problem is, one, to equal this in this, I know you can get bigger sizes, but I don't know how big. I'm not here to sell it. I'm just here to talk about it. To recreate this with this underground, you're going to need to use a bigger duct. But you've dug a hole anyway, and duct is not much more expensive for its size. It's going to be heavier pulls and a lot more handling. The question is, on a solar farm, is it better off to replace these every now and again when this happens? Or is it better to use this from the start? I'm guessing that these are like, I think these are about 12, 15 years in. I think this would last a lifetime, 25 years plus. It just depends how many of this situation you get to warrant using this from the offset. So at some point, I mean, obviously, if you're doing a solar on a house and you want to put that up the wall, look, that's going to look loads better, make your life loads easier. You're not going to have to get conduit and all that stuff. You're just going to use cleats. So obviously, it's definitely a good cable. I'm not knocking the cable, but it's whether on a solar farm, it's worth the initial extra cost of this, the bigger ducts, the more pulling, to save a load of this in the future. That's not my bag. I don't really do that. I just go around fixing these. But yeah, this is the solution to a problem, but it all depends whether this is cheaper in the overall lifetime of the thing. But yeah, that's to decide. But obviously, this is what you had. This is all you had. This is what Sam and Doncaster come up with to solve the problem. Well, not this problem. It's for this problem. But it also, whilst it's at it, solves this problem. Unless you really shouldn't be pulling cables in. So yeah, that's just a makeup shot I've done. So now, back to the video. Yeah, so this cable, the DC cable that you get, it's just DC cable. It's just as far as I'm aware, it's designed for going on roofs and in dry locations, like passing through your loft. I'm not a solar expert. I'm sure some solar expert will correct me, but as far as I'm aware, it's copper cable because it's copper, because that's what cable is. It then looks silver because it's tinned, which gives it more resistance to this going green shit when it's outside. So it'll be normally tin copper cable. I ain't got a new bit here to show you, but it's tinned. And then it's wrapped in a PVC, I'd imagine, blanket. Maybe even double PVC. That's double PVC because there's a clear layer and then there's a XLP layer or a thing. There's loads of different types in here. What I'm saying is the vast majority of this cable is not duct grade. So don't go pulling it through ducts unless you buy the duct grade version, which you probably haven't if you put it through a duct. In this case, they probably bought the cheaper cable, took the risk and the repair, but yeah, it's not a duct grade cable in any way. And here's me adding a bit on the end to make it into a video at the YouTube that I should have done at the start, so let's put it with this bit. Oh, cocaine.